The student who failed 27 times before becoming successful. Most people believe successful people are born different. They imagine confidence, talent, and perfect timing. But sometimes, success begins with 27 failures. This is the story of Adam, a story about rejection, persistence, and the decision that changed everything. Adam wasn't the smartest student in his class. He wasn't the fastest learner. He wasn't naturally gifted, but he had one dream. He wanted to become an engineer. Every morning, he woke before sunrise, walked to the local library, and studied until it closed. His notebooks were filled with formulas, practice questions, and tiny handwritten reminders telling himself not to give up. Everyone believed hard work would eventually pay off. Everyone except reality. The day his first entrance exam results arrived, Adam tore open the envelope with shaking hands. Across the page, one word stared back at him: failed. He sat quietly. No tears, no anger, just silence. He folded the paper, placed it inside a drawer, and whispered to himself, next time. Next time came, and he failed again, then again, and again. Each rejection letter looked almost identical. We regret to inform you, we are unable to offer admission. You have not met the required standard. One by one, the letters piled higher. His classmates graduated. Some started successful careers, others moved overseas. Meanwhile, Adam was still preparing for another exam, another interview, another rejection. People slowly stopped asking how his studies were going, not because they forgot, because they already knew the answer. At family dinners, conversations became awkward. Relatives asked his younger cousins about university, his older cousins about promotions. When they finally looked at Adam, someone would always ask, "So, any good news?" He would force a smile. "Not yet." Then everyone would quietly change the subject. His smile disappeared the moment nobody was looking. Years passed. Failure number 7. Failure number 12. Failure number 18. Failure number 23. Each rejection felt heavier than the last. His room slowly transformed into a museum of disappointment. Rejected applications, exam papers covered in red marks, sticky notes with forgotten goals, coffee-stained textbooks, a calendar where every month ended with another setback. Sometimes he wondered if everyone else had been right. Maybe he wasn't smart enough. Maybe dreams weren't meant for people like him. One afternoon, his younger sister noticed a cardboard box hidden beneath his desk. Inside were dozens of rejection letters. She looked at him with innocent curiosity. "Why do you keep these?" Adam smiled softly. "They remind me that I'm still trying." She didn't fully understand. But years later, she never forgot those words. Time continued moving. Friends got married, started businesses, bought homes. Adam remained in the same tiny apartment. Outside, seasons changed. Spring became summer, summer became autumn, autumn became winter, again and again. Inside, little changed. Dust settled over books he hadn't touched for weeks. The curtains stayed closed. Hope slowly faded. Then one quiet afternoon, his father knocked gently on the bedroom door. He didn't bring advice. He didn't bring criticism. He carried something unexpected, an old, cracked mirror. Without saying a word, he placed it on Adam's desk, then quietly walked away. Confused, Adam stared at the broken reflection. The cracks divided his face into dozens of pieces. He looked tired, older, defeated. But behind exhausted eyes, there was still a small spark. For the first time, he realized something. Every rejection had taught him something. But he'd been too busy counting failures to count the lessons. The next morning, everything changed. Not because he suddenly became smarter, not because luck arrived, because his mindset changed. Instead of asking, "Why do I keep failing?" he asked, "What can I learn today?" He opened a fresh notebook. Across the first page, he wrote, "What can I learn today?" Not, "How can I succeed?" Not, "How can I impress people?" Just, "What can I learn?" He pulled every failed exam from the cardboard box. This time, he didn't throw them away. He studied them. Every mistake, every incorrect answer, every careless calculation. He highlighted patterns, made notes beside wrong answers, created flashcards from topics he never truly understood. Failure stopped being evidence against him. It became his teacher. His routine completely changed. He exercised every morning. He slept earlier. He limited distractions. Instead of studying 12 exhausted hours, he studied 6 focused hours. He asked teachers for feedback, joined study groups, explained difficult topics to other students. Every week, he became just a little better. Not dramatically, just consistently. Months later, another exam, another results day. Adam opened the envelope. His heart raced. For several seconds, he couldn't breathe. Then he smiled. He had passed. Not perfectly, not with the highest score, but enough. For most people, this would have been the ending. For Adam, it was only the beginning. The years of rejection had quietly built something more valuable than knowledge. They had built resilience. At university, difficult subjects didn't scare him. He had already survived something harder. Failure. Again and again. When classmates gave up after one difficult assignment, Adam kept working. When projects became impossible, Adam stayed calm. Because compared to 27 failures, one difficult week felt small. Years later, Adam became a respected engineer. Young students often asked him the secret behind his success. They expected him to mention intelligence, discipline, motivation. Instead, he smiled and pointed toward an old cardboard box sitting in the corner of his office. Inside, 27 rejection letters. He had kept every single one. Not because they reminded him of failure, because they reminded him that persistence has a memory. Every rejection had become a stepping stone. Every disappointment had prepared him for the life he eventually built. If you're struggling today, remember, Adam, maybe your story isn't ending. Maybe you're simply collecting the chapters that will make your success meaningful. Because success isn't measured by how many times you fall. It's measured by how many times you decide to stand back up. Your next attempt could be the one that changes everything.